Hey, I messed up one recording. We're just gonna get into this next one. Yogatag World of Horror. And, yeah, there's not really much to say. I did something I shouldn't have done in the last recording, and that made it unusable, basically. Mostly technical, but... Yeah, strength, dexterity. I'm Haru, by the way. Knowledge and light. So I guess I'll move into the topic I actually got into and was interested in talking about in my failed recording, which is basically light novels. I've been doing some research into, basically building up good plot, world building, character creation, and I think that's for my own purposes. Some of it for the sake of work, and some of it, you know, a small part of it really is for my own interest, but most of it is for, making a... We have word and painting, by the way. Most of it is for my own work, and therefore falls under the topic of research. However, specifically, if I didn't already say it, the genre is isekai, by the way. And I think what I talked about last time, I kind of went on a tangent, but the most important part is making a good storyline, because if you make a wish fulfillment, to what I said earlier up, because I think, yeah, I talked about some other stuff, and then I eventually went into this. Let me get more bricks, by the way, because I don't know what timeline I'm in. However, I do want to do that, and I think I'm going to try to go for the chainsaw. And if bad things happen, so be it. Survivor's Guild holes and double holes, but those don't stack, so kind of good luck. And let's find out. Well, I guess I'm going to do this. Fuel first, because a light source is easier to get. And yeah, let's get the heavy-duty flashlight. So now we have a real weapon, and we have all these bricks to use. So, here we go. Yeah, but yeah, the isekai genre, which unfortunately, I wish I could have done something more in the line of second chance, but I think, what's the right word what's the right way to term it? In this day and age, at least contemporary, if we're talking contemporary, and by contemporary, my definition of it for light novels is within the last 2-3 years, even 5 years is a bit... Listen, we've made good progress, alright? No, nice 12 roll, by the way. We made good progress on people writing light novels, even for, I guess, not amateur work, but people getting into it, even just writing on blogs. That's we have a good supply. However, obviously most of them are kind of for the connoisseur of light novels. A good majority of them are not great, I guess, is the term we'll use. So, I mean, if that's the case, that's the case, but I think they're a good, what do I want to say? Oh, as I fail to brace, by the way. I guess I'll just take this brain damage, but... Yeah, I'll just take this brain damage. But for the most part, I think there's a good dozen. I don't have them off the top. Off the top of my head, I can think of like 3 or 4 tops. And we're not including those that have been... again, they have to be contemporary, so made within the last 2... Okay, you know what? 5 years-ish is more contemporary, but after that, ones that... Especially ones that have been made into... let's just take the reason damage here. Ones that have been made into... that have been adapted into anime, it's not that I don't count them, it's that... if we're looking at rising titles that I think deserve a chance, some of them have already been adapted to manga, but I think some of them definitely deserve an anime adaptation. And I'm just gonna say anime, but yeah, unfortunately that's not the case. And again, that's because I've been looking into whether or not they have good stories, and the structure of their stories, makes some sense. At the bare minimum, are mediocre in the, I guess we'll say, the pool of what we have at right now to watch if we're looking at anime. But do I just want to eat this damage? I didn't take the cigarette, and I can't brace into anything. Yeah, I can't brace into anything. So I guess I just have to eat this 6 stamina damage overall, but yeah, we'll just eat it. I'll probably smoke cigarettes for the duration of painting, and we'll move on. Yeah, that's going to make cigarettes even more expensive, but yes, keeping on that note, as I move on to drink this bottle of water, refill it, and get stamina back. is the isekai genre. I wish I could work on second chance, but I have to specifically work on isekai for the purposes of what I'm planning to do, and therefore my research does that. But I do think, I guess on that little tangent, there are a few second chance light novels that should have gotten an anime adaptation. I think it's because the author is Chinese or Korean, both really, because mostly the ones that get anime adaptations are from are of Japanese origin. But there are again 3 or 4 off the top of my head that could use an anime adaptation. Personally, some of them I don't think should get one, but charisma, please. Well, all right, cool story. So I could just end up dying here, by the way, which means I'll just eat it in the face. But yeah, you know what? We'll keep going. But there are definitely a few. But if we're looking at the isekai genre, that window narrows down quite substantially. It's because the structures are, once you read enough isekai, by the way, nice -2 all. Can I run from this? I can, right? Yeah. I don't think there's really any good chance of me getting out of this. Rumu Ghost, easy encounter, by the way. I know that's mostly my fault, but even if I had like 7 stamina, it's not great. But yeah, back onto the isekai thing. Once you understand the structure of I think you can say like 3 main structures of how isekais flow. And if you're looking at, I guess the structure of a story is I equip this chainsaw and really put these cigarettes. If I smoked these cigarettes, they really wouldn't have got me much. I could just die to an event right now. But yeah, if you look at, say, how... Oh, please don't put me in the desert. Okay. This should be stamina? Okay, good. If you look at, rising action, climax, that single loop, then you can see the structure of how isekais are made. There are a few subtleties here and there. There's mainly the... for most isekais, obviously, there's the... If knowledge is involved, nice whole-written thing encounter, by the way. Do I? No, I don't really get much. We'll do this. I will throw the baseball bat as well. But this is pretty much going to be the best I can do. But yeah, for most isekais, obviously there's the startup or exploration phase. If there's second knowledge involved, there's the curb stomp phase, I'll like to call it. But some, and the ones that don't do it as well, or the ones that get tiring to a lot of, to readers, I guess is what we'll say. I can't remember. I guess, no, we'll go this, and then we'll double stack into strength. We'll sacrifice Amy here as well. But yeah, they just keep repeating the curb stomp phase, and they don't really present a challenge, which can be interesting. There are 2. I was going to say 1, which is why I used the word is. But I think we can actually say 2 that use the curb stomp over and over for each, I guess we'll say arc. But, yeah, that's usually you want to get away from that, I think, is how I would advise people. And from what I've written before, yeah, you need to add something. If you're gonna do curb stomp like for 90% of your arcs, you need something else, alright? You need to throw something else, not as a subplot, but another, I guess the seasoning needs to be different. It can't be the same curb stomp plus, if I were to use an example, artifact. The main character gets, a piece of equipment or another ally. You need to throw something else in. But even that gets tiring to readers, in my experience, both reading and observing, I guess is how I'll term it. But we have not a lot of rest. I guess we'll go scissors now and get a feel for what we have available. So, let's figure out what timeline we're on. Timeline B. Alright, cool story. What was my second mystery? Painting, right? It had to be painting. And if it wasn't, I'll be really sad. But bow, clap, and we'll do 4 claps after. And move on. But other types are the exploration, so moving into a new... or exploring the world, or getting to know the world. But that's usually the first one, and then after that, it'll depend on setups. But most setups, it also include different areas of the world. So again, world building. So for example, there are 3 countries. You have an arc for each country, and so on and so forth. Some light novels, and even some popular isekai genre, light novels that have been adapted into anime manga, but the important part is to make a note of it. Some of them just add countries, which, I understand there's not a marketing, but the publishing pressure, I guess is what we'll say, that wants someone to extend a certain light novel or manga or an anime, and so therefore the actual creator doesn't get a chance. I'm gonna run here because we have strength. But the original writer or the creator doesn't get the say. So if they only plan for, say, 3 countries and therefore 6 arcs in total, but say a publisher or a someone higher up wants you to extend it for 9 or 10 arcs, then 2 of them can be kind of filler, and that which can be a good thing. Bow, clap, clap, clap. By the way, all claps so we can figure out. But yeah, if you can do some filler, and I think that's good for character if you want to, build characters more. Also, nice 3 battles at the end, by the way. But yeah, you can do that, but then after a certain amount of arcs, it gets hard, and that's only one factor into, why certain light novels might be harder. But obviously, not all of them are. If we're looking at success, the level of success... I didn't get my bottle, by the way. Big rip. I'll do war now, because at least I can rest. Please tell me we have efficient... Okay, we do. And we'll move on. I didn't get the hospital pass, so we're just gonna eat it. But it's fine. We're gonna pop these painkillers, and hopefully this chainsaw will be okay. Obviously, that's not the excuse for every light novel being pressured into making more. Most people are just making light novel, or most creators are just doing their own light novel, but they fall... I don't think it's incorrect to say that they look at quote-unquote popular adapted light novels, or just light novels in general, and try to reenact it, and therefore they'll be like, oh, I need to plan for like 9 or 10 arcs, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I see a lot of burnout, and that that really kills a lot of it for people, or at least in creators, because they stop writing. Again, there are a whole bunch of factors at play, but if you're trying to plan out things, again, it goes back to something that I've talked about before, keeping things short, or at least starting a very short project. It's better to plan for something really short, and then if it's really popular, you can feel free to expand it. And I know I just talked about how that could be a bad thing, but versus trying to plan for a longer project and, getting burnt out or stopping, or some old gods forbid something happens to you in real life. But for the most part, also my curious package. Oh wait, I gave it. Okay, good. Yeah, for the most part, yeah, if I think this all started off me doing arcs. Yeah, we'll improvise here. Yeah, I think that'll be good enough. I did throw away I threw the candle at the donors, but yeah, I know I've been rambling a lot. If nothing else, this will help me think of my own things. But if we're talking about arcs, yeah, that's why I talked about the country arc and how many arcs you have. Because then if you make reference to a country or something in your world and don't touch it at all, maybe you put it as a side story, but most of the time you're planning to build an arc around it, or you're planning to build an arc around intrigue that connects back to the main story, so on and so forth. Most of the times you're just adding characters as well, which isn't a bad thing, but yeah, keeping control of all that and making sure everyone gets all readers get their, satisfaction. Even among the light novels that I deem like popular in everyone's opinion, I have found problems with some of them. So also, yeah, my cigarette use has run out. Can I take this encounter, by the way? Will I have to gamble? Like, kind of. Yeah, we will. We can throw all of these, or get 9 damage. I think I'm gonna fight because I don't have a lot of doom to spare. So here's hoping. And then this one, oh, nice coughing blood again, by the way. Oh my goodness. And if I didn't get coughing blood before, it's because in my previous run that I lost, I also got coughing blood. So off a proc on injury. Of course, we're on the normal World of Horror backstory, but I had medical history the last recording, so Do I want to bet on a 95? Or 90, 95, 95, 85? Let's get ready to throw my Demon Mask just in case. Okay, good. And that should be... We'll see. It looks really bad here. And we lost Bath. So, here's hoping. I know we have a lot of stuff to throw, but... Yeah, it's not looking good. I'm gonna take Stamina and Hope. But I think it's going to end badly. We're in Botanist, but... Yeah, it's not gonna go so well. We're gonna do our best. So I'm gonna rush and hope, but if nothing happens, it doesn't happen. Mummified Heart is for vampire enemies, but again, we'll see. I'll trade Stamina, fine. I'm gonna assume I'm losing more reason, but if I die, so be it. I'll just wrap up the Isekai conversation, which, you know, I've been talking about the types of arcs, but, you know, there's not really too much to it aside from, you know, flashback arcs or arcs that focus on a character, but most of the time you're focusing on the world building anyway. It's an isekai, you're exploring another world. That's kind of the draw of it. Aside from being maybe escapism, if you want to really put it that way, but there's nothing wrong with escapism, but it's... Listen, there's only so much you can do. It's mostly the overpowered part that gets, that starts to be an issue. That said, we're going to throw one of these, because I think... Oh, never mind, I didn't need to. I calculated that wrong. I thought it was going to be 11 damage, it wasn't. But... Also, 98... Note that I'm on 90... I think I'm dead here. Yeah, I'm dead here. Well, I guess that'll end that for now. If I continue the same topic, I don't think there's any way to save myself. Yeah. What would I have done different? Well, I'll figure it out. Bye!